Hello. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a flow chart using this diagrams website. So on your assignment, you're just going to click on this link. That previous page might take a little while if you're on a Chromebook, and if you haven't signed up yet, it's going to give you the option to um, log in with your Google account, and then it will have a bunch of check marks. So make sure you check those off because it's going to have to access Google Drive. And then when you should get to this page right here. So click on create new and then select this third one right here, flowchart, and then click create. Do you want to use root folder? That's fine. It's just going to save to the root Google Drive. That's perfectly normal. Give it a little time to create. It's going to pop in an existing flowchart. Kind of shows you how everything works, but we're going to just do a few things. So I'm going to build. So I held down my mouse button, or you can use a trackpad and hold it down and make a box around everything. You have to go around everything. If you're missing something a little bit, it will not select those. So it needs to go over each item entirely. So I'm just going to hit delete. And then now we're going to use some of the items that you see in your assignment. So let me open up your assignment. And we're pretty much just going to be using these 5 items. So we have a terminator. So this marks the start or the end of a process. We have a flow line. This denotes the direction of the flow. An input or an output, something that you input into your assignment or that comes out, like with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The inputs would be the bag of sliced bread, the jar of peanut butter, the jar of jelly, and the plastic knife, and the output would be the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So you would use this twice in that one. Then we have a process, something that's happening, something that's being carried out. If you were doing the task of waking up and getting to school, maybe the process would be brushing your teeth or eating breakfast, something like that. And then a decision represents a branch, something that is going to result in either a yes or no. You're asking a question. So let's see. I'm just going to get started off just real quick just to show you. So let's get our start. If you're not sure about anything, you can hover over it. So I'm going to close the general ones and I'm going to open up the flow charts because then these are all the ones that you're really going to be using. So I'm going to find my start right here. I'm just going to click on it, move it wherever you want. And I'm just going to, I'll start our wake up routine. So I'm going to say wake up. Then I'm going to say, we'll ask a question, a decision. So we're going to put this, and as you move it around, it lines up with the edges. So you can line it up. So here I'm going to say, is alarm going off? And then I'm going to put question mark. And then I'm going to have it going this way for yes and this way for no. So we can go to our next thing. So I'm going to immediately ask it another question. So snooze. And then with the question mark. And then if we don't snooze, I'm going to bring it back here because this is going to denote a process that's going to happen. Okay, so now I'm gonna add all the arrows for this. So we're just gonna start with this. So if you hover above one of the items, you'll see these little arrows, and this will connect to the shape that's close by it. So if you click on it, it should connect to that shape. However, if there's no shape really close, you can actually click and hold. So I'm holding my mouse button, and you can drag it to where you want it to go. Okay, and then these little blue squares actually move it around just in case it doesn't, if it's not pointing right, so here it's not really connected to anything. So I'm going to connect it, and there's our connection. Maybe you wanted it connected to the side. I'm going to bring it to the side. Then I'm going to line it up so you can see kind of how that works. So I'm just going to get rid of it, move this back, line it up with everything. Click this arrow, so it's going to connect. See how it's not really straight? I'm just going to move that. I'm going to hover over this one, arrow over to that, And then this one, I'm just going to connect it to right here. But I'm going to move it. So all I'm doing is when I'm doing that, I'm just grabbing these circles. So I have my alarm going off. So I wake up, is the alarm going off? Now, if you double click a line, you can type in it. So I'm just going to type yes. I'm going to do my thing here. So, and then I'm going to click no. Not now, no. Okay. And then we're going to, after we snooze it, it's going to go off again. So I'm just going to have it kind of like point to, so we'll go from here. So you can see now it goes back in this loop. So here we have a loop. We can snooze it as many times as we want. So if we snooze, I'm just going to say yes. Okay, so now wake up. Is the alarm going off? Yes. Do you want to snooze it? Yes. And then it's going to go here until we want to eventually, until we don't want to snooze. Okay, and then here we'll say, right when we wake up, we'll say brush teeth. We're going to go into that. And we don't really need to explain the steps of this. This is just a whole process. So from here, I'm going to copy and paste this. We'll do another one. We're going to make sure the arrow's flowing. The arrows have to go with the flow. So however is pointing. So we know, make sure the arrow's not pointing up. Otherwise, it's going to go backwards. So we're going to go from brush teeth to maybe, take shower, to, and then you can, then if there's ever another question, you can say, hungry, and then from here, we're just going to keep doing our flows. So you can kind of see how we're making a flow chart. So now if I wanted to open an existing one so you can see the whole thing, let's go open recent. Let's go peanut butter and jelly. We'll say open a new window. And you can see here, this is the peanut butter and jelly. So we're going to start. We have our input and output. So remember the shape of the input and output. It's a parallelogram, which is right here. Input, output, or in the flow charts, it's right here. So it has our data. What are we putting into it? So gather the following items. So we have all of this. Put items on the counter. That's a process. Is the bread bag open? Remember, we had this in our demonstration. If it's not, then we're going to untie bread tie. So whatever on the bag. And then here, we're going to go here. So if the bag's already open, we're going to grab 2 pieces of bread and not the end pieces. And then we're going to go to another process. And then we're going to unscrew the lid of the peanut butter and then the whole process. So this I'm going to give you just to show you kind of the example. But that's pretty much it. That's flow charting. So if you have any questions, ask. Otherwise, have a wonderful day.